Okay, we calm down. We calm down. You know why I wanted, I must get a background to this. What motivates your energy? The three of you have not experienced so much of our country to just come up to seek to finish a revolution that I thought started in 1986, but now Kemi says no. It is a pre-colonial struggle. Now, those who have fought the struggle by democratic means have failed. Even those who thought to fight it militarily have failed. Now, three young people before me now come up to say no. Whether the military have failed, the democratic have failed, we can finish. And you call it the finishers. So you are certain, you're casting an image and information that you're actually sure that this revolution must be finished by the three ladies before me here.
It's beyond the three ladies before you. The three
I am
ladies
sure of
are
the
a
three.
representation of the masses of Uganda.
Which masses now?
The masses that have for so long evidenced these things and know that they should come to an end. Some of them are in different opposition political parties.
Have the mic.
Some do not belong to any political parties, but they know that these things must come to an end. And these people are being picked up, Simon. Some of them are being thrown in prison for what they speak up.
Chose in the recent elections to belong to this system. You're talking about the masses.
No, we are not going to go back to
you're
that
talking
discussion.
About the masses. Because you're
we are
talking
not
about
going
the
to go back to that discussion.
You are talking about the masses that are given an opportunity to express themselves and they bring the results. So we see.
Simon, do you think there exists a concept as free and fair elections?
The concept of free and fair has been debated by courts.
And
yeah, one time they have said not free and fair.
Not one time. Not one time.
Okay, I agree. They have said
all the previous elections.
Yes, they have said not free and fair, but they have said the unfreeness or the unfairness is not substantial enough to cause a stalemate in our country. We can still go on.
So do you think the judiciary is independent? Do you know what happened to the people that have dissented in those arguments that those things were substantial? Those arguments or that unfairness was substantial to overhaul? Do you know where Esther Chisache is right now? You know that she's living in exile because she dissented?
No, they have told us Esther is because of indiscipline, subordination.
With all due respect to
Esther
the sufferings of Ugandans,
justice.
I'm not going to engage in that conversation beyond that.
The meaning of the Ugandans out there.
Of the issues of our Ugandans. And we shall not discuss on that. If you have another question, let's shift to that.
On the sideline continues after this short break. All right, we'll come from that short commercial break. We continue with the discussion with the finishers, the very strong girls claiming to be handling a revolution that their grandfathers and fathers have not completed, but they think they can finish it. I want to start with you, my guests and my panelists. I prefer calling you my daughter, but by my age, but maybe that will look demeaning to you, but you qualify to be my daughter. Let us start from first. Have you heard of something called a basement in this country?
Yes, I have.
You have heard, and you're familiar with the stories there?
Yes.
Do you think you have time to get there?
Why should I? I thought you said the country has a system and a lawful procedure.
Okay.
Okay.
Just use the words against you.
Speaks for itself. Dear viewers,
Dear
take
viewers.
note.
Okay.
Why do we have the basement?
Okay. I have heard the finishers movement or revolution. You seem to understand it. How do Ugandans get to understand it?
I think the biggest approximation we have is what we are doing right now, because this is a point of education to the Ugandans and an enlightenment of the reason as to why we need to finish a revolution. What we need to understand as Ugandans, and I think the biggest message we need to preach out there, is that we are at a point where we've lost it all. So we need to jump out of the constant assumption that we have so much to lose, because even the little we have is consistently ripped off of us. It is stripped off of us. Our dignity, even just the mere consideration of you as a Ugandan. We live in a state and not a nation, which is the absurd part about it. That realization is important for us to find a point where we meet to fight for what is right and to fight to take our country back. Sentiments like the one you have on, but we had an election, are the exact blankets that keep shielding us and taking us 10 steps back as a country from the realization that
They are not just
when it's
sentiments, but
bad,
they are facts.
they are your
We
sentiments.
had elections.
It's okay.
The quality notwithstanding.
And the fact that you keep on backtracking from your statements is evidence enough that we try to create an illusion, a veil that helps us to live with ourselves. But for how long are we going to have that veil on? How long are we going to act oblivious to the obvious? We need to pick a point where our strength is united, not in dividing, not in trying to justify our sentiments, but in understanding that we are at a point of no return as a country that requires us to redefine and reshape the structures that we live and exist in. To have structures that define our dignity.
Okay.
To have structures that you're not going to be scared to walk on the road at 7 p.m. because a jobless Ugandan that is going to be called indisciplined by the standards of Simon is going to rob me because they have no job.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is the realization that we need to push, because these problems are proximate to us. You may not have that experience, but the person that is giving birth to your daughter is probably in the hospital, bleeding sick with no equipment.
Okay.
The person that is giving birth to your daughter, or your daughter when she reaches time to give birth, if she can't afford a private hospital, is going to Mulago, where she's going to be required to buy things that her taxes are supposed to put in those hospitals. You have your ministers, Honorable Balam and Justin Namere, visiting local health centers, and it's treachery that they are seeing there. Why do you think people are so disillusioned to the point of negligence out of passions that they chose? Okay. Because people don't wake up one day and just say, I'm going to be a nurse for the vibe of it. That is the passion you chose to. But if you're so disillusioned in a system that you cannot even practice your passion to dignify human life and protect health, what do you expect?
Okay, be that as it is, how respectfully do we address it? Let us accept that that's the state of affairs.
Quick question.
How respectfully do we address
Has your government respectfully responded to you? If you can recognize abasement, has your government dignified your existence?
Can I say something? So Simon, when you say the word respectfully, it strips away from the agency of Ugandans, because respect is an issue of morality. So I would help rephrase that question to how constitutionally can we address that issue. And you said if we have recognized...
The same, you told me that we have no constitution. You simply said we have papers.
And that's true.
So I cannot refer to something that you have already invalidated.
No, what Kemi Thomas said was this, that we are being ruled not by the constitution, and by that being the case, we then have no constitution. But let's go back to the spirit of the 1995 constitution. That's the point I want to take you back to.
So we ride on the spirit. Yeah.
Yes, we are riding. So you want to say
the constitution itself does not exist, but we ride on its spirit.
Yeah, we now have the ghost of that constitution. That's what we are being ruled by. And in Article 3 of that constitution, which is what every Ugandan should know is what they should do, it talks about defense of the constitution. And in this part, they are telling us that if any Ugandan realizes that this constitution or any provision in this constitution is being violated, it has been broken down, that we are no longer being ruled by a constitution, like Kemi said, we are being ruled by the ghost of a constitution. It is a responsibility, whether this person does it singly or they do it in concert with others, by any violent or unlawful mean. Yeah? No, if any person who singly or in concert with others by any violent or any other unlawful means suspends, overthrows, abrogates, or amends this constitution or any part of it, or attempts to do any such act, which is what is happening now, commits the offense of treason and shall be punished accordingly. That is 1. But now go to subsection 4. What does it say? It says all citizens of Uganda shall have the right and duty at all times to defend this constitution, and in particular to resist. You hear the language.
Yes.
To resist any person or group of persons seeking to overthrow the established constitutional order. And then it tells us the means to use. What are the means that this constitution gives?
Okay.
Someone, let me get there.
Okay.
It says to do all in their power. They should do all in their power to restore this constitution after it has been suspended, after it has been overthrown, after it has been abrogated or amended contrary to its provision. They should do anything in their power. And this very constitution goes ahead to protect them. Let me conclude in subsection 5, Simon. It says, any person or group of persons who, required by clause 4 of this article, resists the suspension or overthrow of or abrogation or amendment of this constitution commits no offense. And they say where this person is punished, or where this person is punished for trying to defend this constitution because that regime thinks it's doing the right thing, whether if it puts them in basements, if it throws them in jail.
Is that what's in the constitution?
Yes, it says this.
The basement?
Yeah, because that's punishment. The basement is a form of punishment. It says if anyone is punished for any act done under that clause, the punishment shall on the restoration of the constitution be considered void from the time it was imposed, and that person shall be taken to be absolved from all liabilities arising from that punishment.
Okay.
So when you say, how can we respectfully handle this?
Let's go slow.
I say this is how we can constitutionally answer the questions of the day.
Let's go slow.
By resistance.
Let's go slow now. It is true the constitution empowers you to resist.
In any means
Any person,
possible.
any whatever, that attempts to overthrow,
Abrogate.
amend,
in ways that are not
so
constitutional.
which of these 3 have happened to our constitution?
Okay.
Has it been overthrown, abrogated, amended?
Has it not been
going-
amended? Let's start with Atojikwatako.
Amended.
Okay,
amended.
Simon, I'm asking.
It has been
I am
amended.
asking. Has it not been
Unlawfully,
amended?
in accordance with its own
How many
provisions?
people
It
died
has been
for
amended.
that Atojikwatako?
It's been amended. It's been amended, right?
Unlawfully.
According to its own provisions.
Simon,
the amendment
I
was
have a
amended.
question. Did you have the opportunity to sit within the parliamentary, I want to call them interrogations of the sovereignty
No,
bill?
I did not have. I applied to do so. I was
But
not
you
invited,
didn't
but I
make it.
applied to do so.
You
I
were-
had yes, I had issues with the sovereignty bill. I actually wrote and applied to
What does
appear
that
before the
speak to you?
committee, but I was not picked.
What does that speak to
Even,
you?
but even when I was not picked, some of the issues I wanted raised were addressed at the
Were
end.
they honored?
At the end, some were.
Somewhere.
Somewhere.
Should the provisions just be about some, or should it be in totality to the will of the Ugandan people?
Because it's a win-win situation. If I wanted 4 and 2,
But why are we negotiating with a system that is meant to work for us?
Negotiation has brought us to
Why are you lowering your standards? Isn't the country meant to serve you?
And that's why the
Are you a
Finnish
slave in your
movement is
system?
about the dignification of that.
I have views, other people too have views. 2
Uh-huh.
of mine were taken up, and the others also one.
So you
It's
are
democracy.
you are more important than the rest? Or the rest weren't as crucial as you are? Okay, thank you.
No, Simon, let's go back. You are sticking to the point of just amendment, but let's look. You wanted a few examples of how this constitution has been abused,
No, first,
how it has been abrogated
Has
and
it been
overthrown.
abrogated?
Yes,
Can
and
you
that-
say that here?
and
Has
so
this
many.
constitution been
No, let me tell you.
abrogated?
Yeah, because we can use big English words and go by it, but let's use the things that we see. Let's start with free and fair elections, which I agree that you've agreed they are not free and they are not fair.
According
And
to
it's not just by
according
you,
to
it is
judicial
by
officers.
observers of those elections, it's by people that have seen those elections. Thank you. When we look at chapter 4 of our constitution that speaks to things like the right of life of an everyday Ugandan, how is the right of life achieved for an everyday Ugandan? It's, for example, by having in hospitals the right drugs, having systems that ensure that when you go to hospital, you get the drug, you'll be treated. The government has in the social contract a responsibility to ensure that that happens. They have completely failed to do that. People continuously die in preventable diseases, from preventable issues, not just preventable diseases, preventable issues. The right to life is not respected. But on top of that, look at how we have the person that is supposed to be the epitome of what they call him, the fountain of honor, the representation and embodiment of our constitution, sanctioning the actions of his son in the names of patriotism,
Now, that's
actions
where
of
you go
abduction,
wrong. Now that's where you go wrong.
actions.
If you're going to address yourself to Museveni and his son, then it kills the whole revolution.
No, it
Because
doesn't.
Kemi did say the revolution is not about Museveni or Musevenism.
And
the revolution
no,
about the issues that existed.
The revolution is about issues that existed before and it continue to exist now. And right now,
You
the
blame those
face
issues on
behind that,
Museveni or his son?
the face, I'm going to give you a bit. The face behind those things right now, the representation of those forms of oppression right now is Museveni's government. But what she was trying to say and what we are saying is that even when we do away with Museveni, our revolution is not yet done because our revolution is beyond the man. It's against a system that Museveni has acknowledged, that he has sustained, and that he has entrenched. So so we cannot do away with the system without doing away with him first. It's part of the long-term process. But this is what I'm saying. Still back to the Constitution and how we are no longer being ruled by the constitutional order. When the Constitution speaks of things like, for example, bail, that is supposed to be a right of every Ugandan. How many people are being held beyond what the Constitution allows for being held in remand without bail? How many judges today can we stand up and say are free and fair? When you are a judge, but at the same time, you are the one that is meeting the president in closed doors and chambers, when you're the one that cannot stand by your code of conduct that is written down for you by the rules of judicature. How do we say? How do we say that the parliament itself is not just an empty shell and just a rubber stamp of the injustices of this system? When members are being bribed in broad daylight, money is being handed out in cash to these people. How are they going to make choices for the people? Where is separation of powers, which is enshrined within our constitution?
My daughter.
Where is that?
Accepting a bribe is a question of that person's morality.
Okay, let's say there was one person taking a bribe. But they are not. The whole of parliament, the majority of it is taking the bribe, and we cannot take away individuals from the system because individuals make systems.
Yes, but taking a bribe appeals to one's own morality.
Simon,
So
I wouldn't take a bribe.
I want to say this.
If a member of parliament takes a bribe, it's wrong.
Let me just
But
say
if the
this.
person is giving it is wrong. The two are equal
And what
evils.
should we do about
But that's
that?
not institutional.
Okay,
It's
Simon.
not institutional.
Simon, I want to say this to you. I have a very big problem with how you choose to individualize the government. Because, notice, when we vote you into power, you're no longer speaking for Simon and you're no longer representing the morality of Simon as an individual. You represent a nation. The decisions that you take affect the people that you lead. So we need to stop holding politicians in regard of an individual and a representation of the nation. And that's the problem I have with you. When something wrong happens, this person is just indisciplined. But if that indiscipline has the capacity to cost the lives of Ugandans, why should we sit aside and watch it?
Not just indiscipline.
Article 99 of the 1995 Constitution of Uganda states that the executive authority of Uganda is vested in the president and must be exercised in accordance with the Constitution and state laws. Has the president, in your own assessment, failed to exercise executive powers in accordance with the state laws? If so, which of those specific laws, now from you, the lawyer, has Mr. Museveni broken, abrogated?
Yeah, so I'm going to, I'm a psychologist, so I'll answer as a Ugandan citizen, not as a lawyer.
All right,
Praise can
before, you
come in
answer,
as a lawyer.
before you answer, Kemi, let's have a short break. SML News, you'll be on the sidelines with me, your main man, Sir Simon Muyanga Lutaya, the father of 10 daughters, swarmed by 3 women activists who want to eat me up here. These young people do not want to listen to facts of our country. They want to rewrite our history. You cannot imagine where ladies of this caliber gather the strength to tell me that a revolution started pre-colonial and has not been finished over the last 63 years, can be finished by them. I have no right whatsoever to say no. I equally have no right to say yes, but to listen to them and give time chance to judge them. So I told you that Article 99 of our Constitution vests executive powers in the president and also compels him or her to exercise such powers in accordance with this very Constitution. And Mr. Museveni, the president now in this capacity, has done exactly that. No one single time has been faulted for abrogating the Constitution or breaking any of our laws in exercise of his executive powers. Where then you gather the energy to say no?
Simon, if that were true, I would not be here. Trust me. I would be somewhere, not even in this country, probably practicing psychology. But I'm here because our president has failed us. On the day he became president, he named what they had done as fundamental change. He said, do not look at us and think that it is going to be it is a mere change of God that you've been seeing. He said, this is fundamental change. This is a revolution. He named it himself. And Ugandans were happy. I was not born by then. But when we watched the footage, Ugandans were happy. They were clapping because the period that we had been in as a country, it was not appetizing. So we put our trust in this man as president of Uganda.
The fundamental change. We only fell short of defining what was the fundamental in that change.
Yes.
And it's not you to blame. It is us who lived then.
The people who were there.
Yeah.
And we're coming today, us who are not there. And these are the sentiments we're getting from people. Who do you think you are? You are young people. You're not even 30 years. What do you know?
You don't even want to listen to history.
We are asking the questions that you've said it yourself, the questions you failed to ask. What did that fundamental change, what was it supposed to look like? It was the dismantling of all the colonial structures and systems as they were, for us to sit and have a conversation as Ugandans.
True.
Define for ourselves who is a Ugandan.
True. And we have done that.
No, we have not. And that is why we are coming in saying that president you call president is here illegitimately and he has failed the people of Uganda. Otherwise, we would not be here.
Kemi.
Now, what is important, Simon, is the how. And I keep bringing us back to this because it is important.
No, but I want these lessons as well.
You host a lot of people.
When we converged, when we met in 1995, our whole idea was to dismantle the colonial structures and define the new country we want ourselves.
Yes.
We did that perfectly clear.
No, you didn't do that.
You see, as much as we celebrate the 1995 Constitution, it was not an independent constitution. It was a replica of the colonial constitution, the British Constitution that they instituted to govern Uganda.
So you're indicting us, your fathers?
We literally made a replica of that constitution. And we said, this is now the Ugandan constitution. It is not. It is not. And that is why we keep emphasizing the issue of economic freedoms. Economic freedoms. Now, let me bring you back to the how. I keep saying there is something we're sidelining that is very important.
Kemi,
you host a lot of people, Simon.
You are telling us.
You host a lot of
31
politicians.
years after our 1995 constitution, you are indicting us that what you promulgated in 1995.
It was a replica of the colonial constitution. And I'm not mincing my words. It is what it is. Now, since this is such a heated debate, you would say, why don't you guys deal with the Constitution? Why don't you start with the Constitution? We do not have the power. The power is in the hands of one man called Museveni. We do not have the power to touch that Constitution and amend it to give people back their power. We do not have that.
Your representatives
and that is
have
why,
the power. Your MPs have the power.
That is why, listen to my how, Simon. I keep saying you host a lot of people.
Okay.
Bobby Wine, Besigye, all political figures in this country. And they have beautiful plans for Uganda. They have great manifestos. But none of them has been able to implement those plans. Why? They do not have the power. And that is where the finishers come in and tell you that you've been starting from a wrong stage. You want to enter State House before you capture State House. Yes, that is what our opposition is doing. They want to enter State House without capturing State House. They get to the door and it is closed.
What do you mean?
Great manifestos, great plans.
They want to enter
govern
State House.
Yes.
Before capturing State House.
Yes. How did Museveni enter State House? Did anybody carry him from somewhere and say, here you are, you have arrived?
No.
Exactly.
He overthrew a government, dictatorial bad regime,
Yes.
and by overthrowing it was clear he had to occupy the seats that those people occupied. And we allowed him. Museveni has not forced Ugandans on himself. We have allowed him.
Now that he has become the problem, we have to sit as Ugandans and devise means of getting him out. And
You
I'm
must
saying
convince Ugandans that Museveni is a problem.
that
Because to them, he's not.
Yeah.
If he was, they would not have voted him by 71.
Simon,
Don't talk about the elections and we
I just need one
You hate
uninterrupted.
elections. You don't even want to debate these elections?
I need one interrupted minute from both sides, please.
Okay.
Please. I'm discussing the how that a lot of people, a lot of Ugandans have come and professed themselves as even revolutionaries, like we are doing
we'll
now.
end with the how. Because you said the messages have failed, the Zimbabweans have failed. I now want to see how.
The
will
how.
the finishers
Yes.
do it.
How different are we? How different are the young people today that are waging this struggle? How different? We are proposing something we are calling constitutional resistance. Now you could say you're young, you don't have plans, we have the plans, but we are telling you, you do not have the power whatsoever to implement those plans. And we are building a culture of resistance among Ugandans. Because where we are, every Ugandan is a conformist. We have allowed, we have agreed. Injustice is okay. Led by our host here. Let things just go as they are. And we have a lot of things to defend them, the Bible being one of them. Museveni he came because of God. He was put in place by God. So who are you to say no? You see?
You cannot run a country for 40 years without God's favor.
What all that has done, you can hear the statements. What all that has done, it has created a Ugandan citizenry that is conformist. You don't question. You don't question. That is why when Museveni told you have brought fundamental change, you did not ask him, what do you mean by that? Could you explain? And here we are. So what we are trying to do, we're not hoping to run for political office in 2031. That is not what we are here to do. We are here to build a culture of resistance, a culture of people that question the government. Museveni can be away tomorrow, and then we get another problem.
Is he not a great man that even allows to resist?
Do we have
you want to build a culture of resistance within his very country?
And you and your question was, are you aware of the basement? Because you know that what we are doing in this country, it is illegal. You know that. But we've said, like I told you, a finisher is a finisher for a reason. We are here to finish unfinished business. And we are going to do it amidst intimidation. We are going to do it amidst kidnappings, because they're already happening. Murder, state murder.
State murder?
Yes.
State murder?
Yes.
Can you say state murder?
Yes. Oh dear.
State murder?
Yes.
Like I said, I'm not discussing the facts because the facts are already there.
Yeah.
So we need to discuss how to move forward.
Okay.
Constitutional resistance. We want to have a citizenry that questions power. As simple as that. And we're doing it through organizing. We are reaching out to everybody, every Ugandan. It does not matter what political party you belong to. If you see a challenge, if you see a problem in Uganda today, and you want to come to solve this problem,
whose interest do you
the
serve?
interest of the people of Uganda. So a finisher is not, we are not special people. If you are out there, if you are out there, and you see a problem with our country, people, I told you both sides, please, let me conclude. If you are out there, Do not look at finishers as an independent team, special from you. If you're out there and you've seen that there is something wrong with this country, something serious, resist it. Do not conform to injustice. Do not. I saw a video recently of a young lady recording her mother being dragged on the ground by the police in Mbarara. And she kept recording and saying, we are seeing you and I'm going to let the whole world know what you're doing, what the police of Uganda is doing. That is our weapon. You have a phone wherever you are, that is your gun. Use it. Use it. Someone wants to corner you, arrest you, get bond from you, put your phone on, put your camera on and tell the world what is happening. We are young people. We do not have resources. We are broke. We're a broke generation.
You know what the sources
can do? But you have your phone. You have your voice. Let nobody silence you.
Let me tell you
what
the phone can do.
Let the basement not scare you. We have people who have gone there.
Kemi.
I met she's 18 years old. She was kept in the basement for 2 months. Blue tick. So these are things that no longer scare us. Raise your voice wherever you are. You're in the north of Uganda, you're in the east, you're in the west, you're in the central. You see injustice. Raise your voice. Resist injustice, resist Musevenism, resist injustice. Thank you.
This very episode on the Sidelines ends here. The discussion continues next week when these young great ladies sober up to discuss the facts of our country, the realities of their generation. A generation that is close to the facts, a generation that does not want to listen. The history of this country must shape up your future.
We are rewriting that history, Simon.
Not the way you are doing it.
We are rewriting it.
Because in writing your history, you need us.
Yes, we do, and that's why we're here with you. That's why we're here with you.
You need us. No, we cannot come to you if you do not respect where we have come from.
No, we are not going to. We are not going to continue the whole politics of infantilization. Bazukulu, my daughter, Mama. Janet, you're not my mama. You are the first lady of this country. You are the minister of education of this country. And if kids cannot have food in this country, I'm not going to call you my mother, because that's not what mothers do. She is not my mother, and neither is Museveni my grandfather, and neither are you my father.
Say it is not your grandfather.
He is not my grandfather. The wife is not my mama. They are people that hold political office, and they will be held accountable and responsible in that regard. Not as my mother, not as my father.
Going to university do not respect.
No, we do not. We
transformation of our economy.
They also do not respect us.
Respect is a reciprocal thing.
You do not know that our economy has transformed.
Transformed where?
And you have statistics.
Transformed where? The last time we're claiming we're now a middle income country, and we're told, where are you going?
And we
Park
are not.
there.
And we are not.
You Google. You have a phone, you have internet. If you want our respect, at least have the facts. Google and have them.
We have transformed from a fragile, war-torn economy.
Who started the war? You're talking about war. Do you know the insurgency that happened in northern Uganda? Haven't you heard the president himself apologize for it, Museveni? Haven't you heard him apologize for it? Do you know that even the DRC, that they went there, robbed things there? Have you heard what happened in Mukura in Teso? Have you heard what happened in West Nile?
It's because I have an opportunity to give you facts that in 1986, our GDP was $6 billion.
You cannot use the GDP as the only factor to determine economic growth.
Simon, after 40 years. Simon, how many young people are employed in this economy?
Not many.
Not many.
But not many.
Hold on. Simon,
unemployment is a global challenge.
First wait. Can we wait?
You cannot.
Simon, let me say this. The value of respecting adults and elders is that they were always ready to listen, dissect what the young people are saying so they could give direction. So I require you to listen. You cannot say majority of the young people are not employed, and in the same breath agree these are the people meant to pay the external debts that this country is accumulating. Sit back there and say, our country has improved, our GDP has grown, and yet you have people suffering from petty crime.
Has GDP improved?
Simon,
let's agree. Has it improved?
Simon,
we start from, has it improved?
Simon,
has it moved from
pause.
6
Can I speak? Or should we leave you to run your show? Exactly. So you cannot talk about statistics in the evidence and the face of people dying from hunger. You cannot talk about statistics in the face of people that work from 9 to 5 and can't afford freaking medical bills. At all. Respect the dignity of people, Simon. Respect it. They are toiling day in, day out. These university students that you are talking about, we are sitting in lecture rooms day in, day out to come out to an economy that cannot serve you a job and yet requires you to pay debts.
I actually thought, like Mr. Museveni thinks,
that's okay.
that
Think like him. We are thinking different.
It's time for him to retire.
People like you and Museveni are saying
the
problem is, and Simon, I want to say this as I end. The problem with people like you and Mr. Museveni that want to call us your grandchildren is that in the same wavelength that you say it's time for us to give up, you go ahead and discredit the validity of young people caring about their politics.
We're actually happy.
Now I ask a question, Simon. You want to give me your history. It's okay, Simon. No one cares. Fine. No one cares. You talk about giving us a generation of history. Are these things not written? Do you think we don't read? How do we understand the influence of pre-colonial structures, colonial structures into current day?
Because you read.
Thank you.
You read.
So if we read, why do you think we don't have the validity to talk about these things? You think we are dumb enough to come and talk about the history of a country without sitting to read it?
You have issues, and I agree, but the method of addressing the issues.
Who are you to define the method that young people use? Did you tell Museveni what to do?
From discrediting
I have a question. When Museveni went to the bush, didn't he discredit everything Obote did?
Yep.
Didn't he discredit everything Amin did? Is there anyone that told him, Museveni, this is the method through which you capture power. This is the method through which you revolutionize. Let's sit down, understand, and not sit to defend things because they are convenient to be defended. Thank you.
Simon, on GDP, I'll just say this for the benefit of Ugandans.